Good morning. It's Sunday morning and it's June the 1st, the 6 months of the year. At the end of this month, we're into the second half of the year. And my Sunday thought today is about giving thanks. Now, if you've had any religious or spiritual practice at all, you would have found and taught some form of prayer or some form of how to speak to the big creator, whatever you call it. I find there's so many names. So it's for me, I always call it the love source because that's what I found and that's what I address it as. But there's many other names, of course, that we use. What came to mind was very often we forget to give thanks for what we want. We give thanks when things show up that we like or we want, and we're very, very happy about that. And we'll say thank you in our minds. But what I discovered a lot of years ago, actually, and sometimes I still forget this, unfortunately, was that when I wanted something to occur in my life, whatever it may be, I would give thanks to it. And there was a time in my life when things were very, very traumatic, and I wasn't sure where I was going to live. I didn't quite know what was going to go on next. And went back to New Zealand for several weeks. And during that time, I did a lot of visualization of what I would like and gave thanks every day. Now, some people would call that like a meditation, but because visualization is really very important that you can visualize. Now, I was visualizing something that I wanted for a living quarters and what I thought would be perfect for me. So I was giving thanks every day. I was giving thanks for having a place to live. When I returned back to Canada, and anyway, to make a long story short, I was shown to an apartment that fitted a lot of things, but not so much what I had visualized, but it fitted perfectly in so many ways. And I was in the last one available, brand new, price was reasonable, everything was perfect. And which I took, of course, and I've been here ever since. And it is in so many ways, it's just so perfect. But it makes me realize how often that the grand design of things, whatever you call that power that's there, knows what's best for you. And what was best for me, because it's on ground level. So I don't have stairs, I don't have elevators, I don't have anything to worry about. I come in and I can come out. I've got everything I would want and desire here. So it's like a key, and I kind of really have given thanks lots over this, but we don't put our plan in. And I found sometimes in speaking with people, they know what they want and they say they're giving thanks, but they want it their way. Yes, you can put a plan out there as to how you would like it, how you would want it, but be open, because really that energy, whatever you call it, knows best for you. And it's like you kind of surrender that part, but you make your plan, of course. But how much do you do that? I find sometimes I get lazy and I don't put my order in, so to speak. And I'm not always up. But mostly I find that when I go to bed at night, I always give a thought of gratitude for the day or things that went well or things that I enjoyed and what I would like. In other words, I'm putting my order back in. So it's one thing I thought, Sunday is a day when we think about, well, we used to think about spiritual matters. For years, I went to a metaphysical church. Other years, I was a metaphysical minister. So it's like uh, knowing that Sunday is the day. But I know people, Saturday is their day. Some religions have Saturday as the day. Really doesn't matter when. I think every day needs to be the day. the day where you spend a little moment of gratitude to the bigger power that's there, bringing into your life, excuse me, things you need, things you require, things that you want, because it's okay to want. It's okay to dream. Because if we don't dream, what have we got to live for? What have we got to? I know a lot of mine is around being healthy in the last couple of years and having energy. And finally, it's beginning to come. And it's great because I can get things done that I've wanted to do for ages. But, sometimes I find people get very impatient with getting what they say they want. Like it's not here now, or it's not the way they want, or it's not this or not that. And they can get impatient. And what I found over the years, and I've been doing this for a lot of years, is just stay calm. And one is belief, to have a belief of what you are wanting is possible, even though you have no idea how it's possible. And be grateful for receiving it. And it's very, very, I think, important to be clear of thought as you possibly can as to how you think that would look like. But be open to read something that's maybe a little different. Because I always think it's like a big jigsaw puzzle. You put your order in, and then the energy out there, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to give it a name today because there's so many different religions, there's so many different thoughts. And as I said, I call it the love energy. It's like knowing that what it's doing is moving pieces so that you can have or receive or achieve or whatever it is what you want and what you're giving thanks for. What I find is people get tired of thinking or repeating or whatever. And the key is to be able to feel inside your heart the gratitude that's there for the event to receive, and realize also that it may not look anything like what you thought. And I think that's where a lot of us trip up. Like, oh, I do all this and I don't get what I want. But if you look, they've got something different that's actually what they needed. Because what better knows what we really need is the divine energy that's there that we are putting our thoughts out to. Now, I do a lot of talking about thinking, how important it is, how it works, how we can change our thinking. I've talked about how to freeze, evaporate, replace thought. I've talked about lots of other energy releasing, probably not as much on that as I have on the thought process. To have your thinking, because it's the basis of what's going out in your vibrational rate. Your thoughts, your feelings, and the energy you put behind the thoughts. You know how sometimes you get mad and lots of energy goes out? Well, that's a lot of energy that's taken into consideration. The more power you give a thought, the more it's got attention. And sometimes in the things that we really want, we don't really get much energy behind it. Gratitude can be feeling passive, but it isn't if you want to enliven the thought. If you want to make it real for you. But also, when you get to receive the end result of that, you've got to be prepared that it's not going to look what you think that you want. Well, I'm just, I do these off my head half the time, like I don't have anything written in front of me. And I was just thinking at a time when I had asked for something and my voice told me, every now and again I have a voice that told me to drop it. Because whatever I thought I had created was there. And I was told, leave it alone. Do you think I listened? Oh, no, I didn't listen. And they were right. They were correct. That thought was correct. I should have left it alone because it had a ramification a few years later. But anyway, it's like being aware of your own thinking, but also where other thoughts are coming in that are given to you. Because sometimes we'll say, I really want this. And a lot of energy goes into it, a lot of creating how it's going to be, what it looks like, what it's going to do. But we're not listening. We're not listening to, usually that's the high, what I call the high self that tells us every now and again a thought will come through our brain. It's a certain vibration I discovered. They don't come in too often into my mind these days because I'm not really on, you might say, on the edge of anything. But it's like they used to come in, and and usually listened. And this one time I didn't. I overran that. And so I want you to be aware there are many different kinds of thoughts. There's your thought. There is putting out, and also putting out. Now, a prayer type thought is the giving thanks, the gratitude. And that's what I really wanted to talk about mostly today, was to have gratitude for the thoughts that you're wanting to go out, to recognize that you have validity and you are valid in wanting what you want. But sometimes you have to be patient. And again, I'll go back to the jigsaw puzzle, because the energy now has to move pieces to get you what you want there. And sometimes that takes a long time, longer than you want. And also I found, go for the end result. What is the end result? Watch out that you're not really putting a lot of energy in a step to that end result. What is the end result you're wanting? How do you want that to look? All of those things can be really, really important. And it's exciting when it eventuates. It's like, oh, sometimes I'm looking at my time. I usually allow about 10, 12 minutes, and we're there already. How come I talk so much? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going to go back to the basics. I want you to realize that if you have an attitude of gratitude, of giving thanks, if you have a specific time of the day, great. Like when I go to bed, I have a series of affirmations and thoughts and prayers that I want to say or do. And sometimes fall asleep in the middle of them, but other times not. But it's like recognizing what is the end result that you're wanting. I find even myself, who knows this, who's practiced this for so many years, that I'll go not so much for the end result, but for a result somewhere in the middle. And that actually is best to go for the end result. Because as I said, that beautiful energy that works with you to bring to you what you are wanting has to do the big jigsaw puzzle, move things around, have this, that, and the other, so what you're wanting can manifest for you. That's always such a pleasant surprise when that happens. And miracles do happen. You've people who watch this regularly hear me say that. I've had many miracles happen out of nowhere. Like it wasn't even something I asked for. There it was. So it's like you have support in your life, whether you're aware of it or not, to create what is best for you, even though you may not think it's the best. It is. And this is where acceptance comes in, and then gratitude. Say thank you. Say thank you a lot to that energy that you work with, that energy that you pray to, that energy that you put the thought out to. Just be grateful for it, because it's there to support you. It loves you without measure, without thought. It accepts you, and you get to create what it is that you want. Just before I close, I want to say hi to Karen and Karen Lee and Julie. Bless you for being here. Appreciate it. You have a great day today. I'll see you again Monday night for mental mind treatments. Boy, I nearly forgot that one again. And then Wednesday. Take care, enjoy, love, have fun, but be grateful. Thanks a lot. Bye now.